Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast on this special filming on October 31st, 2022. My name is Tristan Grider, otherwise known as Top Gun Samurai. Over there are my two co-hosts, the Melon Punisher.
Yeah, baby! I have
And
my own
everyone's-
podcast. It's called Off Track with Hinch and Alexander Rossi. I'm Alexander Rossi, everyone.
We got a very special episode for you guys today. Joined with my co-host Daniel, Chaney, Justin Cox. My name is Tristan Grider. It's going to be awesome. What a weekend of auto sports racing. The Mexico GP, I'm not going to lie, kind of mid, but what a weekend at Martinsville Speedway. We didn't think this weekend was going to be that great, but holy shit, this weekend was incredible. Jay, how are you, man?
I guess good. I don't know. I guess I'm alright. I've been eating a lot of candy. I'm on a candy hangover, sugar rush right now, so there's that. But no, yeah. I might have like 3 cavities, but it's okay. I brush my teeth.
I definitely have one. I definitely have one right now. And every time I chew on the left side, it's not fun.
Yeah, I brush my teeth every day, so hopefully I don't. But yeah, so I don't know, just eating a lot of candy. Had a good weekend watching the Mexican GP, and watching Martinsville. It was all right, I guess you could say it. So I don't know, but yeah, Daniel.
I had a really good weekend. I hung out with a lot of my friends I hadn't seen in a while. Got to celebrate a little Hollow weekend fun. I wish I was on a candy hangover right now. That sounds really yummy and really good. I don't have any candy here. Actually, I have Jolly Ranchers. That's not true. But I had a good week. I didn't get to watch F1, but I did get to watch at least the end of NASCAR, which was the important part. So we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'm a happy guy. If you know my 2 top drivers, you know why I'm happy. And if you know my insane prediction from a few weeks ago, you also know why I'm happy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah,
we'll get to that.
Hollow Weekend was pretty lit. I'm not going to lie. I got a couple little fun stories from Hollow Weekend. Obviously, Daniel is not of drinking age, so no fun drinking stories from Daniel this weekend.
Fun, it's not that type of fun.
Yeah, Jay, did you have any fun Hollow Weekend stories, bro?
I forgot Friday night. I hung out with my friends Aiden. He had a Halloween party. I helped him set up for it, decorate it all last week. We had a lot of fun that night. So shout out Aiden for throwing that party. Let me help set up. And then Saturday night, me and my girlfriend was with me at Aiden's party as well. Then me and my girlfriend, we went out to Brothers in downtown Indy and had a little Halloween fun down there. So yeah.
Bro, we need to go to Brothers sometime. I mean, that'd be so much fun. Sorry, Daniel. Turned 21. Maybe you can
wait a year and a half. You can wait a year and a half.
No, I'm thinking me and Jay are going out next weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a pretty good Saturday night. That was my first really fun night. My girlfriend Megan and her roommate threw a Halloween party. We both were wearing Top Gun costumes. If you want to see how beautiful my girlfriend looked, go to my Instagram. She looked stellar, and I looked, like a doofy guy in a pilot's uniform. But it's fine. It was absolutely fun. Had a little bit too much fun with some Saint Germain, but otherwise it is. I don't know. Jay? Do you know about Saint Germain?
No, I don't. I guess I
Dude, you got to know about Saint Germain. This stuff is beautiful, and it's like $20 for that little thing that I just held up. But it's some good stuff, and it's my got me a little fun on a Saturday night. I'm gonna take the shades off now because my eyes are starting to hurt.
A little silly goofy, if you will.
I was in a little bit of a silly goofy mood Saturday night, but otherwise it was a great time. So far good Halloween, but pretty solid time, I would say. Let's go ahead and transition into some motorsport media. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start with motorsport media. Daniel, let's have you start today.
Okay, so I'm going to start off this time because I only got one thing of news. I honestly didn't think I had any, and then I just checked. Literally within 4 hours ago, Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan has said that they are running 4 cars at the Indy 500. So add
Insane.
that to the car counter, or whatever that's at. It was at 25, 26, something like that right now. We're not talking about that
Shut up,
yet.
Daniel. Shut up,
No,
Daniel.
force of habit, I'm sorry. But right now, no driver announcement yet. But the rumor of like the front headliner of who they're going for, Ryan, Hunter, Ray, Captain America's coming back, baby. Maybe.
Charm.
He might be coming back for the Indy 500. And he's a former winner? I say why not? So, that's about all I got for the IndyCar side of things, Indy 500 side of things. Um, I'll pass it over to Jay with some F1 news.
Okay. So picking up on some F1 news, we were in Mexico City, Mexico this past weekend. So F1 is actually announced that they're going to keep racing in Mexico City until 2025. So it's another track we know is going to be on the calendar far into the future. Next, they announced the 2 penalties for Red Bull and Aston Martin over this past weekend, and Aston Martin has been fined $450K for procedural breach of the cost cap rules. So not much of a impairment penalty for them, I guess, but yeah, so they'll probably just get that dished out easily, so that'll be fine. But Red Bull was fined $7 million and will receive a 10% reduction in wind tunnel allowance for next season, I believe. That is insane.
That's a lot. That's a big penalty, and I think it's deserved at that point. I mean, some people were pushing to say Max should lose his title. I was not pushing for saying Max should lose his title, but that I think that's fair. In my opinion, I think that's a fair penalty.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely fair, in my opinion. I don't think anybody should lose a title because of that. I mean, technically he did win it fair and square, but I mean, it is.
Red Bull didn't even win the Owners' Championship that year, so I mean, like,
but yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's all I got. So Tristan, take over NASCAR.
yeah, and as always, guys, the most news coming out of motorsport media is some NASCAR news. Let's go ahead and start with the Truck Series because this was probably the biggest announcement of the week, and it was DGR, David Gilliland Racing, is going to get renamed to Tricon Garage. And the whole thing about Tricon is that they're icons. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I thought it would have been cool if there was 3 cars only, but they're actually going to run 4 cars. The 3 full-time drivers are going to be Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, and Taylor Gray. So the Gray brothers are both going to be running. Taylor Gray is going to be running full-time, even though he is currently only 17. He will turn 18 the day that the trucks go to COTA. So he might not be running. He's not going to be able to run Daytona because you can't run Daytona unless you're over 18. So he'll definitely miss the first race of the season. But for the remainder of that season, guys, it's going to be those 3 drivers. And then they'll have a 4th truck with a rotation similar to the KBM 3rd truck. So we're seeing Toyota return to 4 full-time trucks with another team. And this will be the most, I believe, Toyota entries since like back in the good olden days of Toyota in the Truck Series. But yeah, so 2 Toyota teams, obviously, with ThorSport and Tricon Garage. So that's really interesting. All right, guys, we have a lot of Xfinity Series news. First one, breaking just a few hours ago, Ryan Vargas is going to part ways with JD Motorsports. Now, if you've been listening to the show religiously, we have all talked about how we believe that Ryan Vargas should not be with JD Motorsports next season. We all think that he should leave. The entirety of, I believe he's ran with them since 2019. Every season that Ryan Vargas has been with JD Motorsports, they promise races, and every season they take races away and give them to pay drivers. And a lot of the times they don't finish as well as Vargas does. So Vargas gets sponsorship. I think he would be a perfect fit for Jordan Anderson Racing. That's just me. I think there's rumors that Anderson Racing is going to be expanding to 2 cars next season. There are rumors that Myatt Snyder may be on the out of that 31 machine next season. But if they both are there next season, we've talked about it, the roommates could be teammates, and I think that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Also, kind of breaking over the last couple of hours, Jeb Burton is going to be leaving our Motorsports at the end of the 2022 season. This is the 4th year in a row we have seen Jeb Burton on a different team. And he's starting to become the definition of journeyman driver. Daniel owns a Jeb Burton hat, I believe. It might be a Ross Chastain 10
I
hat.
do.
Yeah. He owns a Jeb Burton hat. And it's like a Jeb Burton colleague hat. And it's crazy that he's not going to be back with our Motorsports next season. And that was 2 seasons ago. Originally, his contract was 2 years. So he's getting bought out of his contract at the end of the year. So he will not drive that 27 next season. Obviously, Burton missed the playoffs. My prediction, I think he's going to Sam Hunt Racing. They've been vocal about how they want a full-time driver. And, I mean, who better than a veteran to be in that car? So I think Jeb Burton will get that seat. But personally, I don't think Jeb Burton is good enough to race in the Xfinity Series. That's just me. He also had some drama with Raja Carruth this weekend, and it seems that all the time he just wants to get some drivers' faces, and he complains about stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not the biggest Jeb Burton fan, but he will leave our Motorsports at the end of the season. Some very exciting news regarding one of our favorite drivers, Parker Kligerman. This came out of nowhere. Is going to return to full-time racing in 2023 with Big Machine Racing. Where did that come from? We were all expecting it was going to be Nick Sanchez who was going to be that full-time driver in 48 next season, but the veteran Parker Kligerman is getting the AJ Allmendinger treatment. He's going to return full-time. That's insane. Best of luck for PK. I hope he makes the playoffs in 2023. Knowing him, he probably will. The 48 is some solid A-tier equipment. I like it. I like it a lot. Good deal. And then Sam Hunt Racing for Phoenix. They're going to have Kaz Gralla in that machine for the Xfinity Series. Okay. Cup Series news. We're going to go through it really quickly. First things first. Let's talk about some of the news that happened this past weekend at Martinsville. Brad Keselowski was disqualified from Martinsville. He did not meet the minimum weight requirement. There was no other issues in post-race inspection. So Keselowski originally finished 4th, getting RFK their 3rd top 5 of the season, but he will go to the back of the field. Another thing that happened, Tyler Reddick is currently in the process for further evaluation after his incident on track on Sunday. Things aren't looking so great right now for the driver, the number 8, and it is most likely that he has a concussion and will most likely not be racing on Sunday. RCR has not announced who their alternate driver would be. I would believe that it would be Austin Hill. However, Tyler Reddick's a really small guy, so maybe Justin Allgaier hops in that seat. Maybe a Sheldon Creed hops in that seat. We don't know for sure, but sad news for Tyler Reddick. Great season, and Phoenix is one of his better tracks, so sucks that we won't get to see him in his possible final race for RCR. But Richard Childress was very vocal about the fact that he goes, if he's not healthy and he has a headache, we don't want to risk it with him in these cars. So good to see that they still have some good relations there after all of the drama that has happened this season. Speaking of Austin,
he even hugged Reddick when he got out of the car. Too. I don't know if a lot of people caught that on the broadcast, but he hugged him as he got out of the car, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, some scary stuff. Speaking of concussion protocol, Alex Bowman will return to the 48 at Phoenix next weekend for the final championship race. Austin Hill, this is interesting. He will run 6 races next season with Beard Motorsports. They are not going to be just in a Daytona exclusive car. They're going to race 6 races. I bet you can guess which ones they're going to race. Daytona, 1 and 2. Talladega, 1 and 2. And Atlanta, 1 and 2.
Oh, no, they announced it's not the Atlanta 2.
Really? What are they?
It's Michigan, and it is the Chicago Street Course.
Ooh, that's interesting. I like that. The Michigan for sure. But Chicago Street Course, that's awesome. Yeah, I think NASCAR wants 40 cars there, so that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I figured it would be Atlanta because Austin Hill won in Atlanta last year. Rodney Childers expects to be back with Harvick in 2023. Good to see. And then my last piece of NASCAR news. This one's just weird, and I like it. Hooters, the restaurant, Hooters, and Chase Elliott are gonna launch a virtual restaurant with a ghost kitchen through delivery apps called Chase Elliott's Chicken Tenders. And I think that's hilarious, and I'm gonna buy some. So there we go. Maybe we'll do a video on the Indy Boys YouTube channel. You never know. That's all I got for these motorsport media. Let's really quick before we go into race weekend, let's talk about the weekend winners. Starting with F1, Max Verstappen took it home. So I believe Daniel was the only one to pick Max Verstappen.
No, I did.
No,
it was
I think you
Jay.
both did.
No, I picked
both did.
Lewis. I picked Lewis. I don't remember, but Max Verstappen gets the win, and officially, does he have the record now, Jay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
and
beat
officially
Michael Schumacher's record.
breaks the record. Lewis Hamilton finishes second, back-to-back second place finishes for him, and Sergio Checo Perez finishes third in the Xfinity Series at Martinsville. Ty Gibbs wins in a very controversial ending. We will talk about that. And then the Cup Series, Christopher Bell wins it. Let's talk Championship 4 for the Xfinity Series really quick. Ty Gibbs will make the Championship 4 along with Josh Berry and Noah Gragson. They were both locked in. The fourth guy, surprisingly, Justin Allgaier has made it over AJ Allmendinger. That is crazy that the regular season champion did not make the Championship 4. Cup Series, the Championship 4. We have Joey Logano, Christopher Bell. Those two locked each other in. Christopher Bell obviously won this past weekend. Then we have Chase Elliott, who raced his way in. And then the man who's on the thumbnail of this video, Ross Chastain, rode his way into the Championship 4. We're going to talk more about it with race weekend.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I bet you
the
Melon Punisher over there is happy. Daniel wearing a
I let
Punisher
that out
onesie
of my
with
system. I've
Chastain.
been holding that in all weekend.
Mans threw up a hell melon. That was crazy.
Hail
Straight
Melon.
up. Straight up.
That's hilarious. But yeah, let's go race weekend, guys. Talk about the Mexico GP first.
Okay, so getting into race weekend reviews, we're going to start off with the Mexico GP for Formula One. Honestly, there's not really much controversy or anything to talk about from this race. Not like really anything, honestly, but the only thing I'm going to really talk about is the standings. We all know Max has secured the championship. But Sergio Perez and Charles, but Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc do have a really close battle for second place right now. Sergio Perez having 280 points and Charles Leclerc having 275. The next battle is between George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz for fourth place on the grid, with George Russell having 231, Lewis having 216, and Carlos Sainz having 212. So those 6 cars right there, with Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes all battling for the top 6 spots. So it's going to be interesting to see where all of these guys rack up. We all know that Red Bull is the Constructors' champions. Ferrari is in second, Mercedes is third, but we do have a battle for fourth place in the Constructors' battle, with Alpine and McLaren having 153 points and 146 points. McLaren is fifth, by the way, just in case I didn't clarify that. I don't know if I did or not. I might have, but so that's going to be an interesting battle to watch up until the end of the season. And as we saw, Verstappen wins, Hamilton P2, and Perez P3 at Mexico. As I said, there's not really much to talk about from this race. The only thing I can ask is, do you guys think McLaren can jump Alpine before the end of the season, or does Alpine look really strong to you guys for fourth in the constructors?
All I gotta say that if McLaren can overtake Alpine, they're gonna have to do what Ricciardo was doing and go pew, pew, pew. I don't know if y'all saw that, but
That was sick.
Daniel Ricciardo did a finger gun
Yeah, I
before
saw
he
that.
overtook Esteban Ocon.
Yeah, he's
But if anyone's gonna give him a shot, it's gonna be Lando Norris. I feel like even though Norris has pretty much secured himself as 7th in points, because there's no way in hell he can get 100 points to get into the top 6.
Yeah.
I think Lando could get a sneaky podium, maybe with Abu Dhabi. He's pretty solid there. Maybe over Alpine in the constructor standings, but you're gonna have to have a terrible day from from Fernando Alonso, which is not normally what happens in the Brazilian GP.
And even Ocon.
Yeah, I feel like Ocon's just too consistent. I don't feel like Ocon's going to be
Mm.
the one that chokes this away.
Yeah.
But personally, I think Alpine's good. I don't think that anything's going to happen. But yeah, that's just personally my opinion. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
When it comes to McLaren, they're just so inconsistent. I can't say that they're gonna jump up.
Honestly.
I can't not when Ocon is just so consistently like solid, and then Alonso is also just extremely solid, like all the time, consistently solid. Um, I think Alpine's got it personally.
Okay. Okay. Who takes home second place in the constructors battle? Sergio Perez or Charles Leclerc?
Oh, Sergio, for
Sergio.
sure. He's head of
I was gonna
season.
say Checo.
I think Checo's. I think Vamos Checo has been more consistent. He finishes on podium more, and he's a better driver in better equipment. So
And his engine doesn't
just me.
explode every other race.
facts, bro. Facts.
I saw the meme.
I'll put this in right now. I don't think Leclerc finishes on podium for the last few races of the season. I think he will finish 4th and 5th. Like, I don't think he will. That's just me.
That's a possibility. It's a possibility. I saw a meme that said missing team been missing since Hungary, and it showed a photo of Ferrari. I died laughing when I saw it. It was funny. But yeah, I see Sergio finishing ahead of Charles. Not saying Charles will be far off, but I just don't see Charles taking over second in the points. Daniel, I don't know if you ever really said your answer.
I also think it's gonna be Checo.
Okay.
Checo's been really good, pretty much all season.
Okay.
Really all season.
Yeah.
So I think the consistency is gonna work out for him personally.
Yeah.
I'll put a hypothetical up there really quickly. Just because Max has been so dominant this season, and it blown everyone out of the water. Is Checo a championship contender next year? Do you guys think, or is Max the only contender next season?
I wouldn't say he's going to be the only contender next season. Like, you really will figure out once you watch the first race of the F1 season every season who's going to be a contender and who's not. And I think we kind of learned from this season that we thought it was going to be Ferrari for a while, and they were for a while, but Red Bull was also very dominant, and we knew Mercedes was only going to be involved if they could keep up with both of them. So, which it seems like they're keeping up with Ferrari now, but I think Ferrari's kind of falling off a cliff again. But
yeah, for sure.
Really, you'll see in the first like at least 1 or 2 races of next year's season, or even just preseason testing, who you think will be the actual championship favorite. Like, it's hard to predict that from a year on out, basically, type thing for F1, because you just don't know. I mean, it could be Max. I think it might be Max again. I'm not gonna lie, but
I honestly think Max will probably three-peat as well.
yeah.
But.
So, but yeah, no, I just think Red Bull looks at the second car as too much of a second driver rather than another first car. They don't. They look at Max as Max, but they look at Checo as a second driver, in my opinion. So that's how I feel personally. But yeah, I don't know. Daniel, got any takes on that?
I don't think. Okay, I think Red Bull will have some competition next year because this was the first year with this new car. I don't think Checo will be a contender because team orders are a thing, and we all know who Red Bull prefers.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
So, Ferrari could be more consistent next year. Knock on wood. Mercedes could have more improvements because, as of now, they're at a winless season, and they very well could sneak into one. So,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think there will be more contenders next season, at least compared to this season. Maybe not other seasons past, but
I mean, we'll talk about like the biggest disappointments of the season in the season finale of our podcast this year. But when we do our special Indy Boys Awards show, for that's the trophy you don't want is biggest disappointment, and I definitely think that and I think that Mercedes is definitely up there. And I just because he's in the equipment that he's in, I have to put Pierre Gasly up there as well for biggest disappointment of the
My
season.
vote's gonna go for Ferrari. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ferrari could definitely be there as well. Just because like they were so hot at the beginning of the season, and both their drivers won races in the first 5 weeks, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's pretty much like I guess all we got to do to talk about F1, right?
All of it was just kind of filler, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go on to the NASCAR Cup Series, guys. I have to talk about Ty Gibbs because who the hell does he think he is?
Jesus, apparently.
Like, come on. So here's what pisses me off, okay? Here's what you want to know what grinds my gears? It's when people are stupid, okay? Now, Ty Gibbs has done this mentality that he doesn't like to lose. He's tried to be kind of like Kyle Busch in that situation, claiming that he's like the next Kyle Busch. But in this situation right now, he's claiming to be the next Jesus Christ because, okay, he was locked in, okay?
Yeah,
he was locked in to the next round. All he had to do was finish the race from where he was, and he had locked himself in on stage points earlier in the race. Like, he was fine, okay? He's your teammate, Brandon Jones, who ran you cleanly, by the way, was about to drive to get your team a second shot into the Championship 4 and make it even with Junior Motorsports, okay? Like, Joe Gibbs Racing was about to have 2 cars in the Championship 4. For the Xfinity Series. They were about to be equal with Junior Motorsports. At this point, in my opinion, I think Ty Gibbs just handed the championship to Junior Motorsports because you just made a lot of enemies, man. You flat out did not even try to run it. And I know, Jay, that you probably have some different opinions than me than this, but a lot of people say this is just Martinsville racing, but in my opinion, that was the most boneheaded move I have seen in a long time. You wrecked your teammate you were literally already locked into the next round. That's what bothers me about this. If he's going for the same thing, if he's below the cut line as well, I understand the move. I don't agree with it, and I'm surprised he didn't get punched in the face afterwards. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I thought Noah Gragson was going to punch him in the face. Someone else got punched.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next. But how is that man still alive? Let's be honest. Honest there. But what's your guys' opinion, really quick little 1 minute argument about the Ty Gibbs situation? I'm going to start with Jay because I feel like we have differentiating opinions. So I'm going to start with Jay on this one.
I don't feel like his move was wrong. I just think he hit him too hard. He said he was trying to move him, and which, I mean, that's fair. He's going for a race win, and I get the whole situation of his teammates out of the playoffs. But in my opinion, I'm gonna go for a race win too. That's my thing. I'm gonna go for a race win whenever I can. If I see a race win, then I'm gonna go for it. And plus, that race win helps him in the playoffs too, like in the final round as well. So, or it could help him with like any like points or whatever. So, oh wait, do points reset actually?
No? Points. Wait, it's whoever finishes highest.
That's right. Yeah, okay. Never. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, never mind. Interesting. That changes my whole perspective. Then.
Hold up. Okay. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah, no, I think that was dumb. I think it's dumb because you just, as you said, it'd have been 2v2. It'd have been Gibbs versus Junior Motorsports, and that would have been the smartest way. And right now it's 3v1, so his chances of winning are not as great because if 2 cars are not running great for Junior Motorsports, all they got to do is block outside Gibbs and let one of the other cars win. So I don't know. That's my take. I think that in a way it was not a bad move. I think he just did a little too extra with what he was trying to do, in my opinion.
Before we go to Daniel really quick, I think personally that Kyle Petty said it best on this week's episode of Backseat Drivers. He said, And I quote, "We just saw Ty Gibbs' true colors, that he's an arrogant, entitled driver who thinks he can go out and do whatever he wants." I think he said it the best, and that's coming from Kyle Petty, who was in the same situation.
I just think Ty
Like,
Gibbs is an aggressive driver. Like, we've had to talk about aggressive driving earlier in the season. I'm not changing my stance. He's an aggressive driver.
I think there's a difference though between aggressive driving and just being a jackass. I feel like there's a big difference in my opinion. Ross Chastain, aggressive driver, right? Ross Chastain wouldn't spin his teammate for a win. We've seen Ross Chastain push his teammate.
He's crashed AJ Allmendinger. Yeah, he crashed AJ Allmendinger.
I don't think he tried wrecking him. I don't think he tried wrecking him. Though. I think AJ kind of like came down on him, but I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. Two different kinds of aggressive driving this weekend. One of them gets praised. The other one gets celebrated. We'll talk about it. Daniel, what do you have to say about the Ty Gibbs situation here?
Bro, Ty Gibbs needs to stop. Like, I think the crowd of the people at Martinsville this weekend said it best after he won, and they were chanting "Thank you, Grandpa," because, like, what are you doing, man? What, your teammate? You're racing your teammate. You're already clinched. It gives you guys a 50-50 shot. I know you still want to win the championship, but you can take a second place finish in the race before the championship to give yourself a more fair, like, chance. That's what I would think. I would think that. But smarty pants Ty Gibbs might know more than I do, I guess. I'm not the driver. But I don't know. That really ticked me off. It really rubbed me the wrong way. I just think he's going to get to the point where he's making a lot of enemies, and he's already kind of seen as like this nepotism baby. Like, if you think about it, he's really not helping his chances. He is not helping his chances by dumping his teammate, showing no care for equipment.
No one in the garage, I think, respects him at all or likes him at this point.
The dude compared himself to Jesus Christ. How can you like that dude after that?
I was talking to my friend Mike the other day when we were watching the Cup race in Mexico GP, and I said I personally feel he still has too much of an ARCA mentality, because in ARCA you see people spin people and throw people out of the way all the time for wins, and I personally believe he still has too much of an ARCA mentality, and he needs to learn how to do these moves at least cleaner. I think he has that ARCA mentality where he's like, get out of my way. And like when it comes into these scenarios, and that's something he's going to have to learn in Cup, because if he doesn't learn it for Cup, and he's probably going to be in Cup next season. If he doesn't, he's not going to come in very...
Probably he's going to be in Cup. He's driving for Ty Gibbs. I mean Joe Gibbs Racing. Like, as Noah Gregson said it best.
Noah Gregson walked by.
As Noah Gregson said, beat that man ass.
He said, go beat his ass, man.
He said, go beat his ass, bro. Go beat his ass, bro. That's what he said.
Dude, I didn't really care much for Noah Gregson last year. Yeah. He's growing on me, bro. He's so funny.
He's funny. And speaking of fights, we did have one that wasn't really caught on camera at all until the next day. It was seen that Austin Hill absolutely laid Myatt Snyder out in the pit lane.
Dude, that man.
I still don't know why.
Excuse me.
Like,
so
I don't know why.
So
go ahead, Jay.
I saw someone post something that said that something happened in that big pileup that happened. Remember the big pileup? I think both of them were involved in that, and because Austin Hill was trying to race into the playoffs as well. And I think something happened with Myatt and him in that, and I can't remember if they said Hill came up to Myatt or Myatt came up to Hill, but they said Myatt said something to him, and then that's when Hill sucker punched him, or not really sucker punched him, but like decked him.
I wouldn't say sucker punched that.
No, he rocked that.
Listen, as a martial artist, I've taken a lot of punches. Okay, how was Myatt Snyder still standing after that hit? That was that he hit Myatt Snyder harder than Jake Paul hit Anderson Silva. Like that, like
No, he wasn't
Bro, he
standing.
summoned the powers of
There's a
Iron
video that
Fist.
he was on the ground.
Like,
There's a video that Myatt was on the
dude.
ground. Yeah.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get suspended
Nah.
for next week because NASCAR has stated that they are looking further into it. But I don't really want to talk about it or anything. I was just like, what the heck? Because like I saw it, then
Dude, I
like
just
Jay,
saw
you
it,
sent
yeah.
it. Yeah. Whoever
Yeah.
sent it to us in our group chat, I was so confused. I was just like focused on Ty Gibbs, and I had no clue that Hill absolutely laid out his basically his teammate in
Who
Myatt
was it?
Snyder.
Yeah.
I think I saw it from. Maybe it was one of the garage guys posted it, or it was some like smaller team or something,
Mm-hmm.
smaller news team or something that posted like a video of Myatt on the ground and people running around like pushing each other away from each other and stuff. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't show the hit, but they showed Myatt on the ground and then Austin Hill like walking away or trying to get to Myatt again or something. I can't remember, but yeah. So that's what I remember from seeing. But
Yeah.
um,
I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. Let's
It's like the
move on.
Austin Hill really summoned the thing where it's like the chart where it's like the screw around, find out.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
went. He
Mess
wasn't
around.
taking that.
The more you mess around, the more you're gonna find out.
Yeah,
And
for real.
Myatt Snyder found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a hit. Anyway,
So-
let's go ahead and talk about the Cup Series action. First, we have to talk about the new Iceman with Christopher Bell. This guy, some people were saying he's the new closer. In my opinion, that's still Alex Bowman. The new Iceman has to be Christopher Bell.
Yeah.
Because this man has not once, but twice won his way into the next round. But firstly, I have to applaud Daniel Chaney on the call of the year, putting Christopher Bell into the championship for preseason. I didn't have Bell making the playoffs. I just want you guys to know that. What a call by Daniel Chaney, who I believe has had Christopher Bell in his final four since the beginning of the season.
I don't think that's true, but definitely since before the playoffs started.
That's insane. What a call.
Sorry about that.
You
everyone.
you good there? You good there,
Paul
brother?
got Jay so
Anyway.
excited that he dropped his mic.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry about
insane.
They
But-
called me a madman.
Christopher
They-
Bell.
I believe in our playoff predictions. When I started narrowing down the names of who I was leaving out, he realized I had Bell in, and he just goes, "No," and I was like, "I think he's making the final four."
Call of the year. Hey, I mean, I had Chastain in my championship four.
I almost
And
had
Logano.
I had Chastain almost getting knocked out, and it almost happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we'll talk about Chastain in a second because I know we're going to talk about it. But Christopher Bell, the new Iceman, in my opinion, what a playoffs. I think if we gave an award for best playoffs, you have to give it to Christopher Bell.
Mhm.
The winningest driver in the playoffs, the only driver with multiple wins in the playoffs this year. He has done something that no driver has done before, which is win his way twice into the next round. That is absolutely mad, and congratulations to the driver of the 20. His third season in the Cup Series full time, his second in good equipment, and he's done this. 4 career wins, 3 this season. He's killing it. Jay, what do you got to say about the driver of the 20?
Bro, Christopher Bell, I promise you, as long as Joe Gibbs Racing does not give up on him, he is going to be a phenomenal driver. I just want to say that. As long as they don't give up on him, Christopher Bell is going to be a phenomenal driver. I've always kind of thought that, like looking at him at Ringbros wasn't Ringbros the 95 or 96? I think he was with the 96. So yeah, I think it was Ringbros.
95, he was with Levine Family Racing.
the family,
Okay.
family racing.
Yeah, Levine family. But I don't know. I see Christopher Bell winning a lot in the future. I'm not saying he's gonna win the championship this next weekend out, but it's possible. It's possible. But yeah, I don't know. We can see. We'll see what happens. I think Christopher Bell's a pretty good race car driver. So
All right. Daniel, what do you think about the driver of that number 20? I know you have some starting. He's a top 3 driver for you. So, I mean,
He's top 5. I wouldn't say
Okay.
3. I wouldn't say 3. He's probably in the 5 spot. Probably in the 5.
Okay.
There's
Okay. So
there's
who's
like a
your
3-way tie for the 5 spot.
okay? So who's your top 5 then?
Well, we
To
all know
right.
Reddick and then Chastain. That's my 1 and 2. Bubba's number 3. 4 is Kyle Busch, just because like from when I was a kid. But you could argue maybe Bell is 4 right now. I'll give you that. Bell might be 4 right now as it stands. And then like 5 is kind of like a tie between like Bell, Suarez, um, Briscoe, probably those 3. It's kind of like a tie between those 3. But I would say Bell might be 4 right now. I've been really
Okay.
high on him the second half of this season. And
We'll talk about our championship picks for next week in a second, but what do you got to say about the driver, that number 20 man?
listen, he qualified 4th here and earlier in the season. He knows how to go fast around this track. Just a matter of if things can go his way. So I'm not going to say anything more than that yet. But there's a good shot. There's a good shot.
I believe it.
Yeah, congrats to Christopher Bell, your first championship in my opinion, your first of many. If Joe Gibbs has to realize that Ty Gibbs is not going to be their best driver next season, and it is going to be Christopher Bell. He's cemented himself, in my opinion, as the new face of Joe Gibbs Racing. Denny is getting old. Martin Truex didn't make the playoffs. Kyle Busch is leaving at the end of the season.
Ty Gibbs thinks he's Jesus. So
I want to put that in the thumbnail so bad, but I think we'd get taken down for
probably
that.
not wise.
Yeah.
Not wise.
Plus, this gets posted on my college, which is a Catholic institution, so probably not. Be a little bit of blasphemy there. Anyway, enough on Christopher Bell. Congratulations on locking yourself in. We got to talk about it. Okay, first thing I got to point out: 7-year-old Tristan purchased a copy of NASCAR 09 for his PlayStation 2 back when the PlayStation 2 was a thing. I played that game all the time. Okay? However, I always struggled on short tracks. I couldn't figure out the way to get there it is right there. I couldn't figure out a way to get around the track at Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond. I would struggle. I would always hit the wall. Until one day, I realized that if I just put it in 5th gear and then just rode the top around the wall and I didn't put damage on my car, I could run 17, 18 second lap times.
All the oldies but goldies.
And all I got to point out is that I never thought that it would happen. When I was a kid, we watched Carl Edwards try to pull that move on Jimmy Johnson at Kansas. Unsuccessful. Last season, we saw Kyle Larson try to wall ride his way to a win at Darlington in the Southern 500. Unsuccessful. When I saw Ross Chastain go into turn 3 going 110 miles an hour, I didn't know what was going to happen. He rode the wall all the way in turn 3 and 4. He passed 5 cars going to the start-finish line. And Jay, I know you're a Denny Hamlin fan, but what in the world happened? This, as Fernando Alonso said, I'm going to read some of the tweets that drivers said about this because it's maddening. This video went viral of Ross Chastain going around this corner. Viral. Okay, Dalton Kellett, friend of the show, this is what he said. Ross Chastain, 1, intrusive thoughts. Also, 1, can't believe what I just watched. I can't, this video has 3 million views. 3 million views. That is insane. Now, actually, I'm sorry. Now it has 8 million views. 8 million views. It was the number one video on. It was the number one on the Sports Center top 10. Fernando Alonso said this was the best thing he has seen in motor racing in 2022. We all did this in video games with Damage Disable. Never thought it would become a reality. Romain Grosjean said respect. Max Papis, when you want it that bad and you're willing to do these things, nothing but respect for the driver of the number one. So many drivers have came out and said, Amber Balkan, never seen anything like this. Don't want to try it, but never seen anything like this. Jack Harvey, wow, I love this. Why not if you have nothing to lose?
I don't know why, but when you said Jack Harvey, I thought you said Jack Harlow.
Yeah. Townsend Bell, this is the most insanely awesome moment in the history of NASCAR. Incredible. Boys. How?
I can tell you how. Ross Chastain has watermelons for nuts, bro. Literal cojones. He said, gas it, smash it, baby. Freaking slammed on the gas. And he even he posted a video afterwards, like leaving the track, and he was like, I didn't think that was gonna work, but it did.
I
have nothing but respect for him at that point.
I have nothing but
he has
respect.
become ungovernable. This man is a menace, but he's like a chaotic good menace. I love this man.
I'd say it's chaotic neutral.
It's the best move I've ever seen. I've been watching NASCAR since I was 4 years old. I have never seen anything like that.
And you didn't even get to watch it live. We had to go, Tristan, pull up Twitter right now.
When I got home I went to the Colts game on Sunday because I chose to be a good boyfriend and take my girlfriend to the Colts game. I don't want to talk about the Colts game. Anyway, but when I came home and watched the final 100 laps of Martinsville, I was nothing but shocked. It went from Chase Briscoe almost stealing this win away to Christopher Bell running him down to Chastain being in, then Elliott being in, then Elliott and Hamlin being in, then Chastain and Elliott being in, then back and forth. Going into the final lap of this race, it looked like Denny Hamlin was going to make his third straight championship four. Fourth straight championship four. I'm sorry, Jay, but Ross Chastain deserves everything that he has coming for him, and this is the best move in NASCAR history, in my opinion, and it wasn't for a win.
No, I completely agree.
Go ahead.
I completely agree, but the thing is, I watched what Kyle Larson had to say about the move, and he said it sets a bad precedence for the sport. And he said that he was ashamed of his move at Darlington. And when he said that, I thought about the possibility of, actually this makes sense, because Ross Chastain's car had barely any damage on the side of it after that move. The tires weren't even
because the new bodies and how intact they are. I couldn't English, sorry.
No, you're good. And the tires were not even flat. So that sets a precedent for drivers, let's say this weekend at Phoenix, at slower tracks. If they feel the need to make up spots, they know they can ride the wall now. And I feel like
I think Joey Logano also said it well, saying that we need to put a rule in now that hey, no wall riding.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I think
that's what I'm saying. It sets a bad precedence because people are going to look at that now. You know how racing is. Racing adjusts.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly how it is.
People adjust off strategies. People adjust off racing lines. And now with this move that Chastain pulled, people are going to take notice of that and be like, that could work other places.
and you're a sim racer because you see this crap all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, will you admit that is probably the coolest move of the season, though?
No, I'm not taking away from his move because it was the coolest thing I have ever seen in my entire freaking life. I'm not taking away from his move whatsoever. It's just I'm looking at it realistically rather than what is actually being said about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I don't know. It is what it is. I thought it was cool as hell, so I'm not gonna lie to you. But
it was
Yeah.
Bad.
was pretty
Because I
freaking
was
sick.
with,
I'm
like
not
I
gonna
said,
lie.
I was with Mike, and we were both like, "What just happened?" Like we were yelling and everything. We had some Coronas and Blue Moons. Like we were yelling. It was
Man,
crazy.
shout out Mike. Shout out Mike, man.
Shout out Mike.
We love Mike. Shout out Mike.
Yes, sir. But
But man,
it was crazy. That was so crazy.
we'll talk about this moment again on the final week of the Indy Boys Racing Podcast season
100%.
1. But man, what a finish. Congratulations, Ross Chastain, on making it into the Championship 4. Your Championship 4, boys. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, and Ross Chastain. Think about it going into our final predictions of the NASCAR Cup Series season. Wow. We are going into the 36th and final weekend of the NASCAR Cup Series season. What a journey it has been.
And then F1 finishes this next weekend after.
Two more weekends we got with F1, but
Well, I mean,
because
this
they're not
weekend,
racing this
then
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they race this week.
So, no, they don't.
I'm pretty sure they race in Brazil.
I thought Brazil was in 2 weeks.
11th to 13th.
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks, brother.
Oh shoot, it is. What? Why? It's normally right after each other. Interesting. My fault.
Yeah, I don't know.
My bad.
Yeah. Well, we don't got that many more episodes left of Indy Boys this year, but let's go ahead and you want to go into our final NASCAR predictions of the season?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna put the shades on for this one, boys.
Although I gotta ask. Do we want to just, to make it easy, the people
Do
we
one
pick
pick.
for wins are like of the championship for, or are we gonna pick like race winner and championship winner?
Personally, I don't think anyone that's not outside the championship 4 is going to win this race. I think we will have the winner of the race win the championship. I don't think we have a Matt Crafton situation on our hands. The only other driver I could see winning this race is Kyle Larson because he's in the Owners' Championship. We don't forget about that. He's in the Owners' Championship instead of Chase Elliott. So,
Well, I'm saying for
that
like
could be a
all the
thing.
series. For all NASCAR series.
Damn. For all series,
All three of them happening this week.
You know what, Jay? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that if our pick is right, it's 5 points.
For
Got it.
championship?
That makes it.
Shake
makes
up,
it. That
shake
makes
up.
it for me.
If
Okay,
our championship pick is right, it's 5 points.
How about we don't do race picks? We just do championship picks this weekend.
Well,
that
I
works for me.
say
Yeah.
we can just make it the same thing. Yeah.
That's
All right,
perfect.
we'll make it
That's
the
why I
same
asked.
thing.
That's why I
That's
asked.
perfect.
But we still only get 5 points per driver.
Right.
Right.
Let's
Correct.
start with the NASCAR Truck
Wait,
Series, guys.
We gotta go through last week first.
Oh, sorry. Jay, do that thing. Do that thing you always do, brother. do your thing. Man, do your thing.
Starting off, none of us got anything right in NASCAR. Me and Tristan were the only one to get something right in F1. I picked Max winning. I almost had the freaking podium correct, but they screwed Sergio Perez over on pit road. Of course they did. It would have been Max, Sergio, then Lewis. I would have had the podium perfect. But,
Hey, brother, I almost had the podium freaking perfect too.
yeah. And yeah, you
Like-
had Lewis, Max, then Sergio. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you would
Both
have
of
just
us get a
flipped
point.
Max and Lewis, yeah. But you got a point for Sergio, I got a point for Max. Daniel's the only one who didn't score a point this week, and we got our group pick wrong. So, yeah. I'm at 30. Tristan's at 31. Daniel's still at 27. Daniel, you need these 5 points to come in clutch right now, buddy.
I need to get 15 this week.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it might happen. Let's go ahead and start with the Truck Series, guys, because let's name these 4 drivers. Any of them, in my opinion, could walk off and win Phoenix. Got Ty Majeski coming off of 2 wins in 3 races. Zane Smith, the regular season champion. Ben Rhodes, last year's champion. And Chandler Smith, last year's race winner of this race. I'm going to start with Jay on this one. Who's your championship pick for Truck Series?
I'm pulling it up right now so I can see. But, dude, man, this is tough.
The crazy thing about this is Ty Majeski's won 2 races in the past 3. Zane Smith finished second in the championship last season, a point behind Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes won the championship last season at this race, and Chandler Smith won this race last season. Like, the 4 guys driving in this race, in my opinion, are the 4 contenders. Like, this is it. This is it.
They didn't race at Phoenix last season. That upsets me. Earlier, they didn't race at Phoenix earlier this season.
Yeah, not earlier.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you want Daniel to start?
Yeah, let Daniel go.
All right, Dan.
Boys, I think I got to do it. I got to take Chandler Smith.
Okay. That's
Feel
predictable.
it in my gut. Feel it in my gut.
That's predictable. In my opinion, honestly, I think Chandler Smith is the safest pick for the championship, just because he won this race last season. But I'm going to go with my preseason prediction for the champion of the NASCAR Truck Series. Give me my guy, my favorite driver in trucks, the driver, the number 38, Zane Smith. Front Row Motorsports, in my opinion, is about to get their first title.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the man. I'm going with the man that I should have chose over Corey Heim.
He's picking Ty.
I'm going with Ty.
None of us picked the defending champ. Ty
Majeski. Get it?
The jet.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's actually a sick ass nickname.
All
right. Those are the truck picks, boys. Xfinity Series. Write down Noah Gragson for Daniel. We know that's where he's going. Do you want to talk about it?
Listen, Gragson was my preseason pick. I thought he was going to have just a massive jump in just how he was going to do. Because I figured he would have one last year before he went full-time in Cup. And so...
I'm kind of scared.
Write down my guy first. I mean, if you want to go ahead and go with you, Jay.
Yeah, I'll go with me. Ty Gibbs.
Go ahead.
Ty Gibbs is my
pick. Screw you.
But I'm scared because I've had Ty Gibbs picked for I'm pretty sure the whole Xfinity season, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm scared for this pick now because I don't know what's gonna happen to him this weekend. So
yeah,
bro, I can tell you what's gonna happen to him. Brandon Jones is gonna happen to him.
I don't know. They probably won't allow him to because that'll be interfering with the championship and he'll probably get severely in trouble for that. So
I bet you Dale Jr. is looking at him right now. He's like, if you need to miss Daytona next year, I do not care. I do not care.
He said just that one race will be fine.
Yeah. You guys know my pick. I've said it since week 1.
You're going Josh Berry?
Joshua Berry. I think Josh Berry is the champion. He didn't have as dominant of a season as I thought he was going to. That obviously has been Gragson and Allmendinger, but now Allmendinger's not even in this championship 4. Okay? Josh Berry's had a good season. He's won 3 races. He hasn't had a great one. He's had a consistent one. He's consistent. And that's why I think Josh Berry is the way that you should go for this situation right here. Josh Berry is my pick. I don't think Allgaier really has I think Allgaier is just there for another chance for Junior Motorsports. But I do think we see a Junior Motorsports champion. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Gragson. Would be a little bit surprised if it's Allgaier. I just don't think it's going to be Ty Gibbs. So there you go. But I'm picking Josh Berry. That's my guy for this weekend.
All right, that's fair.
And now, for Sunday, the main event. We are going.
Ready to rumble.
All right. NASCAR Cup Series action at Phoenix, guys. The final race of the season, the championship for this season. Logano, Bell, Chastain, and Elliott.
Baby.
Oh my goodness. If you would have told me this was the championship 4 back at Daytona, I wouldn't have believed you. This is insanity. First off, let's talk about the stories surrounding this. Joey Logano was my was my beginning playoff prediction for champion. Okay? He was my playoff prediction. At the beginning of the playoffs, I said Joey Logano was going to win this championship. I don't know if that's true right now. Christopher Bell, the story of the playoffs, I didn't have him making the playoffs preseason. I think Daniel and Jay both did, but I didn't have Christopher Bell making the playoffs preseason. I did not expect this, and what a comeback. Because if you remember, Christopher Bell did not have a good beginning of the season. Was sub 30 in points in the first 4 weeks of the season. Came back and had a great one. Ross Chastain has had the best season of his career. 2 wins, but just consistency. He has proven that he is the hardest working guy in the NASCAR Cup Series right now. He could go out there and win. And then you have the favorite this weekend, Chase Elliott. This guy can win anywhere. Has had the best season of his career. It's going to be a close one. And I'm going to start with Jay for his championship prediction this weekend.
You know, a Ford won this race at the beginning of the season.
That it did.
But Christopher Bell did qualify fourth at Phoenix. And Chase Elliott has won here previously. And Ross Chastain has a chance to prove himself. This is going to be an
Ross Chastain got second here earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Facts.
And
We watched that race together.
yeah, and
That's
We
true.
watched that race together.
And that this championship 4 is gonna be intense. I think it's gonna be a close battle the whole way through the race. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think they're
I don't
gonna
blame
be it's gonna be the top 4 of them. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Same.
But Ford won this race earlier in the season.
Are you Team Joey right now?
I think I'm Team Joey right now. As a Hamlin fan, I am Team Joey Logano. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Honestly.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. The beginning of these playoffs, I picked Joey Logano as my champion. As a lot of these guys know, I am not the biggest Joey Logano fan. Kind of like Daniel and kind of like Jay in that one. He's not my favorite driver. He's done some things to some of my favorites. Not really my favorite guy. I don't really like the way he drives, but hey, he's good. He's consistent. I picked him as my preseason, as my postseason. I picked a Penske guy. For preseason, I picked Blaney. Postseason, I picked Joey. I am retracting myself from Ford Nation. I will not be picking Joey Logano this weekend. I'm sticking with my Trackhouse boys. I love some Trackhouse racing. I'm wearing my 99 hat right now. The one, Trackhouse racing, I've told them all season that they are my number one team. I love them so much. Justin Marks and Ross Chastain have worked their asses off. Ross Chastain's going to go and win this championship in his second season in competitive equipment. And you might be surprised of who I'm picking for second place, because I think Christopher Bell's coming home second this season. I can see it happening. But Daniel, who are you picking? Are you picking C. Bell? Are you going all the way?
All right. The moment we've all been waiting for. My championship pick. I'm going to be taking my talents. Christopher Bell.
Ooh. Wow.
So none of us
stick by it.
stick with our
have to stick
postseason
with it.
predictions, man.
Nope.
Listen,
Because
as soon as Christopher Bell made the championship 4, I said, it's happening. I told y'all, I put him in my championship 4, and I really wanted to pick him as my championship. You can go back to that episode. I said I really wanted to, but I couldn't let myself do it.
you couldn't let yourself not pick Chase.
Think he's going to do it. He is going to cement himself as the face of JGR for the time being.
I think Toyota might have a really good shot. It's pretty even, but surprisingly, none of us have picked Chase Elliott. Are you serious?
It's the boring
He's
pick. I
just
didn't
not-
want to pick
He's
it.
just not ring good, though. He's
He
just not
hasn't.
ring good.
He's had a.
He's had
I
two
mean, if you
top
guys remember
tens
last
throughout
week,
the whole playoffs.
If you guys, 3 now because he
Three now,
technically
three.
he backed into a top 10
Mm.
with Keselowski. It's gonna be Hell, are we having a group pick this weekend? I don't think we really can.
I mean,
Our
we
group
can.
pick is Chase Elliott.
No. No, because then that guarantees that one of us gets that I don't want guaranteed points up in here.
Well, that's if we all are wrong. Because in each one we picked somebody different. There's only one chance left. You know what I mean?
I would rather not. If we have our group pick, I would rather it not be a Cup Series guy.
So would you rather?
So it's either Ben Rhodes or Allgaier.
I don't really want it to be a guy that's in the championship for.
Oh, you want it to be like a race pick, not just okay. Screw it. Who's running the 18?
I could definitely see
I don't
someone
know.
else winning the truck race, though. Honestly,
That's what I'm thinking. I could see someone winning the truck race.
Mm-hmm.
Who's running this race, man? You know what? Can we nominate Christian Eckes?
Mm.
Or we could also nominate Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar.
I was thinking Hocevar, actually.
Yeah, like I was kind of thinking Hocevar.
Y'all know I'm fine with the Hocevar pick.
Okay.
All right, boys. Our final NASCAR group pick of the season is Carson Hocevar. Lock it. Pop it, lock it, polka, dot it.
Put it in your pocket.
Also, friendly reminder that the boy Roger Cruth is running the 7 this weekend.
Yes.
So he's always he's a contender in that car. I'm just saying. But boys, it's sad. The final NASCAR predictions of the season. What a journey. I don't know how we're gonna be after F1. I'll probably be sobbing. I don't know what we're gonna do. But I mean, you guys, this is every fan that we have ever met of the show always says that their favorite part of the show is our predictions, and we agree. My personal favorite part of the show, Jay, Daniel, they'll probably agree with me. It's the best part of the show. It's fun, and that's why we save it for the end so you guys can listen all the way through. But
next season we need to have a wager. Like someone has to do something crazy.
Oh yeah, like we gotta go like
whoever loses.
Oh, like a fan.
The two losers.
Oh, I'd be down for that.
The two losers have to do something like crazy.
We could have some fans do some stuff on social media and have us. I don't want to do what I had to do when I was in high school for fantasy football. Daniel might remember. Daniel might remember what I didn't have to do it, but I remember our fantasy football like thing for when we were in show choir. That was pretty bad.
Oh, I think I do remember.
That was pretty bad. We'll tell Jay when we're off air. But let's go ahead and transition to the final. Let's close out. Finally, guys, we are transitioning out of the final NASCAR episode of the season. With racing going on, we're obviously going to talk about our championship stuff next weekend in the championship episode, which is what we are going to title it probably or something like that. I don't know. But what a season. NASCAR Truck Series, Xfinity Series, Cup Series action. We get the week off from F1, and I think we're going to need it because it's going to be chaos central. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Well, Saturday night, but Friday, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Go check out Phoenix, FS1, USA, and NBC. It's going to be crazy. Go ahead and check out Burnout Sports for all of your NASCAR and IndyCar news. MarionPhoenix.com. We love them over there. And check out all of our personal social medias, guys. And also follow the show at Indy Boys Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Boys, it's happening. What an episode, by the way. Like, I just want to say this might have been the most high energy episode we've had all season. Like, it's a good episode. And I don't know if it's just because I am like in the danger zone right now, but like I don't really know. We're gonna get copyrighted.
No, Jay.
Hey, maybe it's because you take my breath away. Anyway, oh man, I'm in my Top Gun. I'm gonna put the shades back on for the closeout. Signing off, guys. For Daniel Chaney, the Melon Punisher, and for Alexander Rossi, Justin Cox.
Listen,
My name is...
I'm the Punisher. I picked Christopher Bell, and I'll do it again because I liked it. I loved it. I'm just itching to do it again.
My name is Tristan Grider. Have a good one, guys. Peace. Let's go to Phoenix. My goodness.